Good morning, Sebastian Lucido here, and welcome to 5-Minute Fresh Start. I'm in Zechariah chapter 14. We're going to talk about the day of the Lord today. Some of these subjects is very difficult in 5 minutes to push out the thought. So I'm going to go verse by verse very quickly. First of all, it really is talking about great tribulation and then the return of the Lord. It says, "Behold, the day of the Lord is coming." In other words, it's not here. I'm going to talk about information before the day of the Lord. It says, "And your spoil will be divided in the midst. For I will gather all nations to battle against Jerusalem. The city shall be taken, the houses rifled, the women ravaged. Half of the city will go into captivity." This is the beginning of great tribulation. In Matthew, you'll see when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, don't go home and pack. If you're up relaxing on your rooftop, don't pack. Get out of the city so this isn't Armageddon. Armageddon is 3.5 years later. So the Antichrist nations, the 11, will come against Jerusalem and they'll destroy the city. They'll take over the city. It says, "But the remnant of the people shall not be cut off from the city." So they'll be part of the people in the city. "Then the Lord will go forth and fight against those nations as he fought in the day of battle. And in that day his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, which faces Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall be split in two from the east to the west, making a very large valley. Half of the mountain moved toward the north and half toward the south." Now this is the return of the Lord. So the earlier part is the beginning of great tribulation. When Jesus comes back to the earth, remember in the book of Acts when they were on the Mount of Olives and he ascended up into heaven before the day of Pentecost, right? The angel said to those standing by, "Why are you gazing up into heaven? Jesus is going to return the same way." In other words, he's going to come back. So when Jesus comes back as lightning from the east to the west, and he destroys everybody in the valley of Megiddo, which is in northern Israel. When he lands on the earth, his feet will actually touch down on the Mount of Olives. The Mount of Olives will split in two. Remember when he said, whoever says to this mountain, he's talking to the Mount of Olives. Whoever says to this mountain, "Be thou removed and cast in the sea," and shall not doubt in his heart, that mountain will split. And so when Jesus comes down, that's what's going to happen. He said, "Then you will flee through my mountain valley, for the mountain valley shall reach Aziel. You shall flee as you fled in the earthquake of Uzzah, the king of Judah. Thus the Lord my God will come, and all of his saints with him." So here, this is the rapture resurrection. So, if you get a picture in your mind, Jesus comes into the clouds in Revelations. The church on earth and the church in heaven are brought together. He comes back. He destroys the armies of Antichrist and the heathen nations, the Gentile nations in the valley of Megiddo, where blood comes to the bridle of a horse. He then comes to Jerusalem and lands on the Mount of Olives and destroys the enemies there. And he opens up a valley for those that were trapped, and now they have freedom. Amen. It says, "And it shall come to pass," verse 6, "in that day that there'll be no light. The light will diminish. It shall be one day which is known to the Lord, neither day nor night, but evening time shall happen, that it will be light. And in that day they shall be living water flowing out of Jerusalem." So the day of darkness we see in Joel, they call it the valley of decision. And that day is a supernatural darkness. It's like God telling the earth, "You have one more chance to believe in me." So, this is at the very end of the Great Tribulation period. And there's going to be a day or two of complete solid darkness. And then, again, Joel calls it the valley of decision. And then Jesus will shine like lightning from the east to the west. And then he'll return. So when it says you won't know the day or the hour, we won't know. I believe we will know the day or the hour. We just don't know it now. I believe that in tribulation period we will. I have a teaching on it. You will know the day or the hour. Because I believe that we'll be able to track through the 7 seals, 7 trumpets, 7 bowls, the darkness on the earth. There's several signs about his return. There's a huge earthquake that moves every single landmass on the earth. And so I believe that those that are here, and I could be here, certainly our kids will be here, but it'll be fantastic. So here's the thing. Please share this. Please give to us. Join us as a partner. Partner with us. We're a remote ministry. WatchersOfTruth.com. You can get all kinds of free study material. And let us join you on your journey to know God and His Word. God bless you guys, and have a